Good evening. Welcome to the Government News Brief for Friday, April 21, 2017. In the news this evening, doctors trained to detect microcephaly in expectant mothers. Government implements new program to assist sexual and domestic violence survivors, and Mabaruma residents to benefit from new equipment to improve their standard of living. Stay tuned for these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. Doctors are being trained to use ultrasound to detect microcephaly in pregnant women. Delicia Haynes has the details.
The Ministry of Public Health, in collaboration with the Georgetown Public Hospital and RAD-AID International, today hosted a training workshop for government medical officers, obstetricians, and gynecologists. Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummins, says that the training provided will facilitate a more precise evaluation of growth and development of a fetus.
High-resolution ultrasound permits imaging of the fetal head in utero, allowing accurate evaluation of head size and detection of intracranial anomalies. Ultrasound findings that have been associated with Zika virus disease include microcephaly and other severe brain defects. Studies are on the way to learn more about the full spectrum of abnormalities detected prenatally and postnatally that might be associated with congenital Zika infection.
According to the Center for Disease Control, CDC, Zika is a cause of microcephaly and other severe fetal brain defects. The condition can cause other infections during pregnancy, which has been linked to other adverse pregnancy and birth outcomes, including fetal loss and eye abnormalities. Microcephaly may be caused by genetic abnormalities or by drugs, alcohol, certain viruses such as Zika, and toxins that the fetus is exposed to.
To date, we have had 42 cases of the virus detected in persons, out of which 9 were pregnant mothers. These figures translate in a 0.01% when measured against the Guyanese population. According to the Center for Disease Control, CDC, Zika can cause microcephaly and other severe brain defects. And Zika virus infection during pregnancy has been linked to other adverse pregnancy and birth outcomes, including fetal loss and eye abnormalities.
RAD-AID, a United Nations-affiliated non-profit organization, took up the mantle to provide radiology and imaging technology in the resource-limited regions and communities of the world. The training for the detection of microcephaly in pregnancy comes at a time when Zika has been taking the lead in the arena of vector-borne diseases and morbidity in the Caribbean region. The doctors being trained are drawn from all administrative regions in Guyana. For the Government News Brief, Delicia Haynes.
The Ministry of Social Protection's Sexual and Domestic Violence Unit is providing a new program to protect sexual and domestic violence survivors. Delon Sanko tells us more.
Manager, Sexual and Domestic Violence Unit, Ministry of Social Protection, Akila Doris, says the program is known as the Temporary Assistance Program for Domestic and Sexual Violence Survivors. She notes that this program goes beyond providing psychosocial support for victims.
This program is designed for those most in need, those survivors most in need, whom have made that conscious and well-informed decision to escape their abusive situations, and they may not have a place to go. They may not have a job to sustain themselves. So we have developed a program and allocated resources for such persons to benefit from temporary accommodations.
Eligible victims will have to go through a rigorous screening process to ensure that everyone has a fair chance of benefiting from this program, Doris explains.
Through the screening process, which will be done by a panel of experts at the shelter and at the Ministry of Social Protection, we would be able to identify those persons who would qualify for such assistance. So you may enter into the shelter, but you may not need temporary accommodation.
However, those persons who may not qualify for the Temporary Assistance Program can utilize additional programs such as the Public Assistance Program for single-parent mothers. Doris urges victims to not be afraid and always report their sexual and domestic violence cases to any nearby police station.
Violence does not always occur during daytime, where you can call and have somebody respond immediately. So your first port of contact is the police station. We know that based on where you live, you may not have a police station within your nearest reach. It's important for everyone to equip themselves with the numbers of the various police stations.
The Sexual and Domestic Violence Manager emphasizes that the police are mandated to treat every case seriously and follow the process that they are mandated to follow. Delon Sanko for the Government News Brief.
Residents of several communities in Mabaruma Region 1 will benefit from about $8 million worth in capital equipment. Isaiah Braffett has the details.
The equipment was handed over by Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, and Permanent Secretary to the Ministry, Alfred King. Some of the equipment the residents received include boat engines, brush cutters, sewing machines, sports gear, and fogging machines. Minister Garrido-Lowe reminds the residents that the equipment given to them was not done out of favor, but because they needed them.
What governments do is try to ensure that everybody benefit according to priority, especially if they are good governments. Not who is their friend and so on, but who really need it.
The minister urges the residents to take responsibility of the equipment as the government is spending millions of dollars to ensure they have a good life.
So every dollar counts in business, and you have to start running your projects as businesses. All right? This is it's an investment, it's your capital, and you have to make sure that it works for you over the years.
Permanent Secretary King says that all capital projects identified for 2017 are already at the National Tender Board. He adds that very soon, the ministry will be returning to hand over the equipment to the communities.
The 2017 capital projects that we identified for this area, all the material and equipment that we're purchasing, they're being processed. At this time, we were told that they're at the level of tender board. So shortly, we will be back here to do the additional handing over of all capital equipment for 2017.
However, the Permanent Secretary reminds the residents that the equipment received does not belong to an individual. He explains that they should be used to enhance the lives of everyone living in the community. Isaiah Braffett, Government News Brief.
Kanawaima Ferry Service to get new resources to enhance efficiency of services offered. Details in this report. The Kanawaima Ferry Service has been experiencing some difficulties and has been accused of providing poor service. Help is underway for the ferry service as government greenlights the acquisition of new vehicles for the administration department. This is expected to improve services, says Minister of State Joseph Harmon.
Cabinet also gave us an objection for the procurement of 2 vehicles for the Kanawaima Ferry Service for the Ministry of Public Infrastructure in the sum of $19,440,000. And that contract was awarded to Bihari Automotives Limited.
Earlier this year, it was announced that several new plans were in the making to enhance the Guyana-Suriname ferry service in 2017. Manager, Molson Creek Terminal Kanawaima Ferry Service, Dane Harry, explains some of these initiatives.
The MV Kanawaima is to be got and 2 engines, new engines I should say, and all auxiliaries are to be replaced. Traffic is projected to increase by 2%. The installation of body and baggage scanners. We also intend to install our perimeter lights. We also intend to set up our website, renovate offices, washrooms.
Harry says that though the ferry service has had a challenging year in 2016, he assures that 2017 will be better and passengers will benefit from improved services. Restaurant Week, which runs from April 28 to May 7, will offer diners the opportunity to experience the menus of 15 local restaurants. Gabriela Patram reports.
From April 20th to May 7th, 2017, diners will have the opportunity to experience a range of cuisines at the participating restaurants. The Guyana Restaurant Week consists of 10 days of culinary celebration in which leading restaurants offer fixed-price menus. These new menus reflect an average of 30% of their regular cost. President of the Tourism Hospitality Association of Guyana, TAG, Andrea De Caires, says that Restaurant Week will promote the local chefs and Guyana's local ingredients.
Internationally, customers love Restaurant Week because it offers them a chance during the week to experience many of their own city's best restaurants at a reduced price. So this Restaurant Week, though our guests, our tourists enjoy it, it's really for all of us.
Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, GTA, Indranath Harold Singh, says that business will live up to the high standard of hospitality for which Guyana is known.
The Guyana Tourism Authority is very pleased to partner and to collaborate with TAG to host the 5th edition of Restaurant Week. As you might be aware, it started with the Guyana Tourism Authority sometime in November of 2014. As part of a new activity for Tourism Awareness Month. And so now it has started as an annual event, now it's a biannual event. Right. It started with 7 days, now it is 10 days, but still called Restaurant Week. Yes, and it is a very much anticipated event.
Marketing Manager for Guyana Restaurant Week, Kevin Davey, says that the team has adopted a very serious social media plan, which has worked very well with the aim of the marketing team.
Guyana Restaurant Week has leveraged serious power in social media, particularly using Facebook and Instagram. We've accessed a wide cross-section of Guyanese and foreign visitors. As you've heard Ms. Andrea said, people are asking, oh, I gotta wait till Restaurant Week for that menu, I want it every week. So we're glad that we're getting that kind of engagement because we want this to be something exciting. We don't want to hear people to hear, oh, Restaurant Week is coming, that's fine, it'll pass, it won't be anything that great. But we've seen in the last 3 years, now being our 6th season into Restaurant Week, it's growing exponentially. People are like, when is it coming? When is it happening? We want to get a part of this. We want to experience it. For me personally, I've growing up in a marketing background, I've thought to myself, how can we push Restaurant Week to the limits? And I came up with the TAG team and I invited Anita and Soraya because we wanted to use video, we wanted to use vivid imagery online and use that to consistently grow our fan base season to season, and we plan to do so even more significantly for the upcoming November season as well. In a few moments, I'll be officially introducing my duo spokeswomen. They will give you their own take on Guyana Restaurant Week. We just recently wrapped up a video at one of our participating restaurants, and we've gotten a lot of encouraging comments to keep that show going.
Restaurant Week 2017 has a special twist whereby diners can win prizes for every restaurant that is visited from the list. Every picture that is posted on Instagram, whether it is with food, beverages, or even with the chef, they will receive points, and the persons with the most points at the conclusion of Restaurant Week will win prizes. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
The Ministry of Public Security, in collaboration with the Ministries of Education and Business, yesterday launched the Youth Biz 592 Entrepreneurship Skills Training Program at the Vrymans Irvin Training Center in New Amsterdam, Berbice. The program is a pilot program sponsored by a $430,000 U.S. grant from the Inter-American Development Bank through a technical cooperation agreement in support of the Citizen Security Strategy. 40 at-risk youths from Region 6 and 40 from Region 4 will see direct benefits from entrepreneurial skills training and coaching on how to start up a business. Participants will also receive a startup grant of US $1,500. We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website. GINA has an active Facebook page, and we encourage you to follow and like us so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Do join us again on Monday for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta Lafleur. Have a great evening.